This is New York's #1 news. Channel 7 Eyewitness News. With Liz Cho and David Navarro. And Lee Goldberg with the exclusive AccuWeather forecast. Now, Eyewitness News first.
A seemingly normal morning commute shattered by a deadly crash.
A horrendous exploding noise.
A New Jersey Transit train packed with 250 passengers smashes through the barriers. Crashes into the Hoboken terminal, one of the busiest train stations in our area, and at the height of the morning rush.
The lights went off and people started screaming.
Parts of the building buckled, sending concrete, metal, and pieces of the roof plunging onto the platform below. And now dozens are injured. So what went wrong? How did this all happen? And when will the commute for tens of thousands return to normal? And good afternoon to you. I'm Liz Chow.
I'm David Navarro. We want to get right to all the new information following New Jersey Transit crash in Hoboken. The train hit the concrete steel bumper at the end of the station and lifted onto the platform this afternoon. Governor Christie says the train came in at, quote, a high rate of speed. Now, one person was killed, a woman standing on the platform struck by debris. 108 others were also injured in the collision. We're told that the engineer is in critical condition but is cooperating with investigators.
All of this happened as a Pascack Valley train pulled into Hoboken Terminal this morning at 8:45. It came in on track number 5. The crash is impacting the afternoon commute. New Jersey Transit trains, light rail, and ferry service are all suspended out of the Hoboken station. However, full path train service has resumed. We have several reporters covering the witnesses, the injured, and the commute. But we're going to begin this afternoon with Tim Fleischer in Hoboken with the very latest on the investigation. Tim.
And Liz, this usual morning commute for these New Jersey Transit riders suddenly turned into a nightmare with this horrible crash.
And you hear the boom and people screaming, running away from the impact, you know.
Rick Chiappa, a New Jersey Transit safety inspector, did not see the explosive train crash, but knew instinctively it would be devastating. He and others rushed to help those trapped in the rubble.
We were moving the rocks, you know, and she wasn't moving. I'm no doctor, but she had that death look in her eye.
As New Jersey Transit train 1614 was coming into the Hoboken station from Spring Valley this morning, passengers felt it was not slowing down. Some said they felt something was wrong.
I honestly thought it was a bomb because that's what it sounded like and that's what it felt like. It was just a bunch of shaking. People were falling all over the place because they were standing up.
Omar Mamoun was in one of the middle cars with other passengers who he said did not appear to be seriously injured. It wasn't until he left the car that he could see the extensive damage.
It went right through the bumper and right on top of the platform. The roof collapsed on top of the first car, which was pretty crumpled.
Ambulances from northern New Jersey responded, forming long lines to ferry injured passengers to area hospitals after they received treatment at the scene. The engineer was also injured. State officials say a total of 108 people suffered injuries and there was one fatality.
Obviously, an extraordinary tragedy. We pray for the family of the one fatality that we have confirmed. For her and for her family.
New Jersey Governor Chris Christie and New York Governor Andrew Cuomo toured the damaged station and offered help to commuters.
The destruction really is significant, and the power of the train coming in is obviously devastating in its impact.
State and federal investigators will now begin their probe for a cause. What should have been the next stop for many on their morning commute turned from routine to a nightmare in a matter of moments.
I was confused, and by the time that you register that you're not slowing down and approaching the station, you had already hit.
Crews now will also have to shore up that canopy, a portion of which collapsed as a result of this crash. There is no timetable as to when this terminal will reopen. Reporting live at Hoboken, Tim Fleischer, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Tim. As we mentioned, there were 250 people on the train this morning, and many are sharing their harrowing stories of survival.
It was super packed. This was a shorter train, but it's been standard for a couple weeks now where there's been shorter trains, so there's been more people in the cars. But for the most part, it was a typical commute. I don't remember any screeching. Again, there could have been, but in that moment when you're trying to help injured people, or like when we felt the train slamming or sliding into the station, we weren't necessary. We just wanted to make sure that everyone that we could help was standing on their feet or that we could get them out of harm's way. As I said, the second car kind of like jumped a little bit onto the first, like where we were standing, so it kind of like crushed that little center where people would be normally standing, and threw them into where we were. I was in between. I was able to stand up, and there were people in front of me, so I couldn't kind of like fall down to the ground, but I just toppled over on them. The conductor was able to ask one of the gentlemen to lift the latch, and we were able to open the door normally and get out.
Eyewitness News reporter Lauren Glassberg joining us now with more from the survivors. Lauren.
Well, David, as you heard from that woman, those on the train, those on the platform, it was sheer horror, speed, impact, and chaos and confusion. People thrown about, commuters left dazed, bloodied, and devastated.
It usually slows down, and I looked at my friend and I said, going a little faster here.
You actually noticed that?
I noticed it.
Massimo Marcaccio was riding in the middle car of that New Jersey Transit train that didn't stop.
And then all of a sudden, it was just a big boom, like metal on metal on metal. You just felt it, you heard it. I hit the wall.
Once out of the train car, he saw the chaos.
We got out and looked at the front. It was a disaster. I mean, blood all over the place. You know, people are in bad shape. You look at the train, it looked like that the top of the Hoboken station went into the front first car.
New Jersey Transit worker Michael Larson saw it all from the platform.
It was just initially just a horrendous exploding noise and concrete dust, electrical wires, and the train flying into the depot. Just kind of couldn't believe what I was seeing. You know, it was something you really wouldn't. Working there for so long, you'd never believe that could happen.
And he sprang into action.
We ran over, and there were a lot of people kicking out windows, trying to exit the train. And we got into the first car. We got halfway through the first car. The second half of the first car was completely destroyed to where they were crawling on their hands and knees. And we were trying to get, you know, as many people out. I assisted in maybe 3 or 4 people getting out.
It was as though Ben Fairclough stumbled into a nightmare. He shot this video as he exited another train on an adjacent track.
There was debris everywhere. There was people climbing out of the train. People were trying to help. Water coming through from the ceiling. A number of people were stunned. I saw multiple people bleeding from the head. Just sort of a crazy, unfortunate scene.
Crazy, unfortunate morning indeed. Those people who managed to survive this unscathed or with just minor injuries, many of them telling me they just wanted to go home as soon as possible to put this morning behind them. Live in Hoboken, Lauren Glassberg, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Lauren, thank you. Well, immediately after the crash, hundreds of first responders headed to the scene. You could hear the urgency in the initial radio transmissions. Well, 108 people were injured. Eyewitness News reporter Rob Nelson continues our coverage with more on the dozens who were rushed to the hospital. Rob.
Well, good afternoon, Liz. Of the 108 people who were injured in today's accident, nearly half of them, 51 in fact, were taken here to Jersey City Medical Center. It was literally a parade of the walking wounded outside of this building for much of today. And we talked to several folks who, of course, as you can imagine, they were scared, they were rattled, but also incredibly grateful to have walked away.
It was surreal. When it first shimmied, my first thought was, this is going to be a life changer. And then the impact came, and it is a life changer for everybody.
People were in shock. They were kind of looking around, trying to figure out what the next step was, what to do next. And, they eventually started pulling out glass, the emergency glass, and people started to climb out.
Even more telling than the images of the mangled station are the words of the shaken survivors.
It was a loud bang, yeah. It just seemed like it didn't stop, and then the lights went out, and then the roof just came down on it.
I'm afraid to get back on the train, and I've been commuting to New York City for 30 years, so I don't know.
You always take the train.
I take the train. I'm in sales, so I have to take public transportation all the time, and I'm sure staying home tomorrow.
Of the 51 people brought here, 3 are in serious or critical condition. 8 others are being treated for less severe injuries, and 40 others still able to walk on their own were brought here by bus, greeted by a hospital on full alert.
All hands are on deck with all our physicians, all our surgeons, our specialty surgeons, our specialty physicians, as well as our critical care nurses.
I just fell back and I just held on to the chairs, and I just saw the roof coming down, and there was concrete all over the place. The concrete was there, and then people were shouting, and there was a lot of blood.
Now, those 40 people who were brought here by bus earlier today, a lot of them, they had the most minor of the injuries, so many of them have already been discharged, as you could tell from the interviews we got for that story. We do expect another press conference by hospital officials here within the hour, and of course, we'll bring you those updated numbers in another live report at 5 o'clock. For now, reporting live from Jersey City Medical Center, Rob Nelson, Channel 7. Eyewitness News.
Quite an image seeing all those people walk into the hospital like that. Rob, thank you. Well, this is the third time that there has been a major accident at the Hoboken terminal. Back in 1985, 54 people were injured when a morning rush hour train crashed into the station. The injuries were mostly minor as the train slammed into the concrete bumper at the end of the track. And then in 2011, a PATH train crashed into the Hoboken terminal as well. 34 people suffered injuries in that one. And the NTSB said the speed was a reason for that particular crash.
As the afternoon commute gets into full swing, thousands of commuters will be altering their plans. New Jersey Transit trains, light rail, ferry service, all suspended out of Hoboken. Eyewitness News reporter Nina Pineda is in Secaucus with more on how people are getting home. Nina.
Yes, and considering this is such a major hub, it is not going to be easy for people trying to commute around the closure of the Hoboken terminal. People who end up here at the Secaucus Junction are being encouraged to look for anyone wearing a yellow neon vest. Those are New Jersey Transit ambassadors, as they call them. They're here on all over the station to instruct people on how to get in and out and around Hoboken terminal. The main Bergen, Pascagoula Valley lines are ending here and originating here, so people can now get on buses on a load and go basis. That's a load and go basis, and they're all standing by here ready to take on this expanded commuter rush because people have to get around that. And the folks we talked to that were being directed to other bus stops and other ways to get around it said, given this tragedy, it is just a minor commuting inconvenience.
Just gonna have to suck it up.
Considering the tragedy, what happened, is that a small price to pay, the inconvenience?
Oh, well, absolutely. I mean, this was really just insane. I mean, you wake up in the morning and you see something like that, and it just shocks you to your core. So, and it's very sad, and it's hard, but you know, we do this, so that's what we do.
Jessica Schneiderman was getting on a bus at Washington and First. That is where the 126 line is being directed. And she did get into Penn Station. She texted me when she got in that they were only delayed about 5 minutes. So the expanded bus, rail, and light rail service that New Jersey Transit has put into place seems to be working effectively. PATH station so far is open only for commuters coming from Manhattan to New Jersey. That's an exit-only station now at Hoboken. You cannot get on in Hoboken and get to the city on the PATH. For more on the traffic situation, let's go to Debbie Duhane. Debbie?
Thank you so much, Nina. And we're going to just remind everybody that New Jersey Transit remains suspended into and out of Hoboken. So again, New Jersey Transit suspended into and out of Hoboken. Hudson Bergen Light Rail suspended as well into and out of Hoboken. And New York Waterway suspended into and out of Hoboken. PATH trains are operating, so that is going to help you out. PATH trains are operating, so that is definitely going to ease out your commute for the afternoon if you do take the PATH trains. Now, keep in mind, with New Jersey Transit, the Pascagoula Valley, Port Jervis, Bergen, and Main lines, you will see some modified service now to and from Secaucus. You will see all the trains operating to and from Secaucus. The buses will be going from Hoboken to Secaucus Junction, as you just heard from Nina. Now, keep in mind, with Metro North as well, Hudson Line will be cross-honoring, and New Jersey Transit will be also running this extra service on the 126 bus from Port Authority to Hoboken. That extra service, and New Jersey Transit will be cross-honoring, private buses cross-honoring as well, to help you out with the commute. Back over to you, Liz.
All right, Debbie, thank you very much. And Debbie also mentioned that the New York Waterway service into Hoboken Terminal is also suspended. Josh Einiger is on a boat this afternoon in the Hudson, and he continues our coverage. Josh.
And Liz, we came out here on the water to get a look at what things look like from this perspective, and I want to show you. You can see, first of all, the NYPD has crossed to the Jersey side to give its support and protect the building and all these facilities from the water. What they want is to avoid any kind of marine traffic from getting too close to the building because they believe the building is still structurally unsound, and that is why New York Waterway can't go in and out of here, because see where those white tents are? Those are the slips that the New York Waterway ferries use when they come in and out of this main Hoboken terminal. And first of all, the people then go right into the area where currently this investigation is going on, but also all that marine activity, the structural engineers are concerned could jeopardize the integrity of that building, and that is why New York Waterway is not running here into this terminal in Hoboken. They are, however, as Debbie said, running into the two other locations in the city of Hoboken, but of course this is going to be rough for anybody who takes the ferry, really anybody who takes any mode of transportation between the city and Hoboken tonight. We are live on the Hudson River right outside the Hoboken terminal. Josh Einiger, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Josh. Well, from the water to the air, Newscopter 7 is overhead. In fact, you can see the boat where Josh is on right there. Let's check in with Shannon Sohn and get more. Shannon.
Yeah, and he's got you covered from the water, and I have got you covered from the air, where we can show you what the scene looks like, and it is still a tremendous scene here. You can see all of the fire department, police department, ambulance activity here at the intersection of Hudson Place and River Street. That is where they are really staging the area, so you need to keep in mind, if you normally just travel through this area, that this entire section is going to be closed. In fact, we can just bring you over and show you where the damage is. It's a tough shot to get. They put up a TFR so that people down there can talk to each other without the noise of the helicopters overhead. So totally understandable there. But if you look real closely in your picture, you can see some of the damage there. So what we want to do is tell you how to get around this if you are driving through the area. You need to know that Hudson Place and River Street, that is the source of the closure, and that is going to be in place for quite some time. River Street itself, that closure is in place at Newark Street, but we're going to bring you down to Observer Highway, which really parallels the railroad tracks through this area. That closure has been put in place at Washington Street, but we are seeing a lot of people getting off at Bloomfield Avenue as well. Really not too bad traffic-wise. People have been talking about this all day, so they know to avoid it, but that's what you need to know about the street closures in this area because of the emergency activity. Reporting live over Hoboken, Shannon Sohn, Channel 7. Eyewitness News.
All right, Shannon, thanks a lot. On the Eyewitness News app, you can see more of the raw video from today's crash. It's truly remarkable to see it. Plus, we have the details on what to do for the commute today to tomorrow morning as well. You can download the app, search ABC7NY in the App Store or Google Play Store.
Well, the train crash in Hoboken has even made its way to the campaign trail. Coming up on Eyewitness News First at 4, we're going to explain how the candidates are responding in the wake of this deadly collision.
And I'm meteorologist Lee Goldberg in the Weather Center. It's been a cool, windy, cloudy day. We're only in the low 60s to mid 60s. We haven't had much rain. That's about to change. Heavy batch coming up from the south. We'll time that for you. And Matthew's strengthened into a hurricane early this afternoon. The latest on that track in your 7-day AccuWeather forecast. That's coming up on First at 4.
It's not too big and it's not too small.
Chevrolet's crossovers come in 3 sizes: Trax, Equinox, and Traverse.
Who wants to sit in it?
I do.
Shotgun.
Oh, wow. This car matches me. I like this. It's a perfect fit.
Get more than you expect for less than you imagine from the Chevrolet crossover family.
Current qualified competitive lessees can get this Chevy Equinox for around $199 a month. Visit your local Chevy dealer.
I'm Brian Ballard.
I'm Beth Black. And we own Pedigo Electric Bikes of Greater Long Beach.
What helps keep this small business moving forward?
40 electric motors. 9 customizable models. 10 online rentals.
And a partner who goes the extra mile. Time Warner Cable Business Class. Get 15 meg internet, Wi-Fi hotspot access, and a free modem starting at $39.99 per month when purchased with phone. Ask about speeds up to 300 megs. High-speed internet helps Pedigo Greater Long Beach spread the word on the latest models. And 2 dedicated phone lines keep up with customers and custom orders.
So we're always 20 miles ahead of the competition.
Get 15 meg internet, Wi-Fi hotspot access, and a free modem starting at $39.99 per month when purchased with phone.
One call can make it possible.
Call today or visit us online to learn more.
This Eyewitness News weather and traffic report is sponsored by your Tri-State Ford dealers.
I'm on the FDR, but I'll be there. See you soon.
So it's you versus the FDR. But with your Ford Fusion, it's like a walk in the park. Potholes, drivers out of nowhere.
Yeah, I see you.
And so does your Fusion with a blind spot information system. And with voice-activated sync.
Call Karen.
You stay in touch and on track.
You gonna make it? I'll be there in 5.
That's the total package. Now lease a 2016 Ford Fusion with a technology package for just $139 a month at your local Ford dealer.
For instant updates on the Hoboken crash, download the ABC7NY News app.
Well, we are back with brand new video. What you just saw there is the actual train that collided or crashed in Hoboken at the terminal. The video that you just saw there is from about 30 minutes before the collision, and then this is what you see. As a result, 1 person was killed in that crash, 108 injured. Again, the governor says the train was traveling at a high rate of speed, which is obvious considering what happened. The conductor critically injured, but is cooperating with investigators.
Now, the NTSB expected to arrive here. They're obviously going to want to speak to that engineer as soon as possible. Meanwhile, we're going to shift over to Lee, who's following some big weather news as well, because we now have a hurricane on our hands.
Yeah, expected, but, you know, it becomes labeled a hurricane and people's antennas go up a little bit more, and obviously I'm sure you've heard about the threat to the East Coast, and that would be sometime next week. But I just urge you to just, you know, proceed with a lot of patience with this storm. First of all, it has to make a very sharp turn over parts of the Caribbean, and will it come into the Atlantic at all next week? There's so many options that are still open with this track, so don't get nervous just yet about it, but I'll give you the latest track and advisory on it. Now, we have our own weather situation staring us in the face here in terms of getting into some wind and some steady rain over the next several days. 64 degrees right now, our temperature. The east wind really kicking up, and it's just getting going. Over the next 24 hours, it'll be peaking with some gusts over 40, maybe even near 50 at the coast. 64 degrees the high on the day. So you have coastal flood advisories, south shore of Nassau County, and also for Monmouth County. High tide cycles into tomorrow. Now wind advisories are up in Monmouth and Ocean. Maybe some wind gusts of 50 miles an hour that could take some tree limbs down and maybe some isolated power outages. Meanwhile, lower 60s, gusty wind, feels like 50s. There hasn't been a lot of rain around, but that's going to start to change. There's some of the wind gusts along the coast, 30, close to even 40-mile-per-hour winds, less so inland areas. As we go through the evening hours, I expect wind gusts to be around 30, and then steadily increase as we go into the day tomorrow. Now, rain's going to get steadier as we go through the evening, especially south and west of New York City. It still remains fairly light over the Hudson Valley and Connecticut and eastern Long Island. And our real day where we, you know, you'll perceive it as a washout, a soaking rain, that is during the day tomorrow. So you can see some of the rain starting to come in now, so definitely need the umbrella as you go through the evening hours. See, what's happened is there's some dry air that's trying to work in from New England, and it's sort of hitting a brick wall here, the rain is, and that's why it's having more success getting into our southern suburbs right now. But eventually the rain overwhelms that dry air, and we get a good soaking later tonight and tomorrow. See, this channel has been going to our south and west. Well, now it's going to lift to the north overnight into the day tomorrow. So steadier rain, pretty much preparing it all day long, a windswept rain at that. Then that area of low pressure responsible for the steady rain lifts northward over the weekend, so we'll trend back toward off and on rain and drizzle. It doesn't get prettier, but at least the rain gets lighter. At that point, we'll be watching Matthew still in the Caribbean. It's not until the end of the weekend when we have to watch out for that key turn to the north and see if it heads toward Jamaica or Haiti or Cuba, something we'll watch very closely for you, and I'll have the exact track in our next half hour. But meanwhile, this is the way the Futurecast shows the steadier rain coming in. Again, see, city south and west overnight, and then the entire area during the day tomorrow. Planning on a wet commute, pretty much planning on it being wet all day long. 58 tonight in your AccuWeather forecast. It's windy and cool, rain and drizzle. Mainly steadier south and west of New York City, but have your umbrella even north and east. And then gusty and cool tomorrow. 40-mile-per-hour gusts or at least 35. Periods of rain, minor coastal flooding, and only 62, feeling like 50s. And then it tapers to more occasional rain and drizzle for your Friday night plans. But wet roads and ponding on roads, it's really nasty over the next day and a half, and gets a little bit better over the weekend, but not much.
Glad you're saying it, too.
Yeah, I know, right?
All right. Thanks,
Thank you.
Lee.
You got it.
Coming up, an emotional final farewell for a Major League Baseball star killed in a boat accident.
And later, new research. Just how effective is the controversial HPV vaccine? We're going to have the latest of a new study coming up right after this.
My Luna sectional.
Contemporary design, adjustable head and armrest, Bobopedic memory foam seating, and plenty of storage.
$9.99 in black and white.
He means black or white.
Untouchable. Only at my Bob's Discount Furniture.
She drives nice, huh?
Really nice. Man, you can get a lot in the Tucson. All-wheel drive, voice-controlled navigation.
Beep, beep. Lane departure warning.
Then auto emergency braking with pedestrian detection.
All backed by America's best warranty.
Windows?
Better is the reason to buy Hyundai. Get the 2016 Tucson for an incredibly low $139 a month for 24 months. Hurry, this offer ends September 30th.
Imagine transforming your home into a Showtime binge palace. Presto. Now you can with this brand new offer. Call 866-200-7122 now and get 60 meg internet and Showtime. Stream to all of your devices for $49.95 a month with no annual contract for 1 year. As the #1 choice of internet service in our area, only Optimum gives you fast and reliable internet that delivers unlimited access to everything Showtime has to offer, like Paddington, House of Lies, The Affair, Dexter, and the ever-enchanting Ray Donovan at $49.95 a month for the year. Call now, because this kind of offer will vanish before your eyes. Call 866-200-7122 and get internet at 60 meg and Showtime for $49.95 a month for the year, so you can watch billions at home and get Wi-Fi on the go. Call 866-200-7122 now. Optimum. Let's connect more.
Hey, what you doing?
Oh, I'm looking over the plans for the grand opening celebration of our new Riverdale Bronx store that's opening next Thursday, October 6th. It's no wonder our Bob's Discount Furniture keeps growing and growing.
Great. Keep up the good work.
This grand opening is going to be epic.
Family, friends, and fellow firefighters gathering today in Yonkers to say goodbye to an FDNY chief killed in a house explosion in the Bronx. Mayor de Blasio and Fire Commissioner Nigro among those attending the wake from Michael Fahey today in Yonkers. Funeral services are Saturday. Fahey was posthumously promoted today from battalion chief to deputy chief. Meanwhile, police say an illegal gas hookup has been discovered at the house in Kingsbridge that exploded on Tuesday. Police believe it was the site of a marijuana growing operation. 2 men have been arrested in connection to that explosion.
And members of the Florida Marlins wore black number 16 jerseys for the private funeral service today of their late teammate Jose Fernandez. Paul Barry's carried Fernandez's casket into Brendan's Catholic Church in Miami while wearing Fernandez's name on their back. The 24-year-old and 2 of his friends were killed on Sunday when his boat crashed into a jetty. Among the mourners who said goodbye today to Fernandez was singer Mark Anthony.
Well, in the race for president, the candidates are on the campaign trail. Republican Donald Trump in New Hampshire right now, the same state where Democrat Hillary Clinton spoke yesterday with Bernie Sanders a day ago.
She put the office of Secretary of State up for sale. And if she ever got the chance, she'd put the Oval Office up for sale, too.
Trump, meanwhile, promised to fight the heroin epidemic. He pointed to illegal immigration as a contributor to the state's drug problem. Clinton, meanwhile, appearing today in Iowa where early voting has started. She spoke about the deadly crash in Hoboken.
I was terribly upset this morning to learn about a train crash in New Jersey. That's very personal to me. I live in New York. People commute into New York from New Jersey. I want to lift up the people of New Jersey and New York.
Clinton continues to receive Republican endorsements. 40 more Republican officials, including a congressman from upstate New York, announced they are backing Clinton over Trump.
Well, we are staying on top of the deadly New Jersey train crash with coverage right here on Eyewitness News. At least 1 person was killed and more than 108 injured. Coming up, we're going to head to the Hoboken Medical Center where many of those injured were treated. We'll be right back.
Closed captioning is sponsored by Raymore and Flanagan. For the closest location, visit RaymoreFlanagan.com.
Hey, I'm Brian Gary. I have a question for you. What car company makes the best car? It's debatable, right? Okay. What window company makes the best window? I bet you just said Anderson. I'm with Ted Coons, project manager for Renewal by Anderson. Ted, what's your connection to Anderson?
Well, you know, Anderson's been around for over 112 years, and everybody knows their quality. Renewal by Anderson is the full-service replacement window division of Anderson. So not only do we build the windows and patio doors, but we also install them too. You don't want a bunch of companies in your house doing a bunch of different things. With us, we're full service. We do it all.
A lot of companies still sell a poor quality vinyl window.
Yeah, you know, Renewal by Andersen does not sell vinyl windows or patio doors. You remember those vinyl records that you used to leave out in your car in the sun? That same warping can happen to vinyl windows.
So your window material is stronger than vinyl?
Oh, not only is it stronger, it's 2 times stronger than vinyl. So our Fibrex composite material is designed to make your home more comfortable and to prevent fogging. It's not going to rot or corrode. It's going to last.
Your replacement window doesn't look anything like a typical replacement window.
You're right. Our sashes and our frames are designed to look like they are original to the house. I mean, you're proud of your home. You don't want to have thick, boxy windows. We have beautiful styles of windows, patio doors, and over 47 different color combinations.
Ted, thanks. That's a lot of great information. Right now, Renewal by Andersen is offering a fantastic deal.
Save 20% on windows, save 20% on patio doors, and save 20% on installation too. And leave your credit card or checkbook right where it is. Because with this financing, you won't pay anything for a whole year. No money down, no payments, and no interest for a year. Call to schedule your free window diagnosis. 1-800-334-4422. That's 1-800-334-4422.
Today we're going to talk about the all-new 2016 Chevy Cruze, but you're only going to answer me in emoji. So this Cruze has built-in 4G LTE Wi-Fi with 24 gigs of data. It also comes with 24 months of Sirius XM satellite radio.
Like word, Chevy. That's the way to go.
Current qualified competitive lessees can get this Chevy Cruze for around $169 a month. See your local Chevy dealer.
As we're pulling into the station, noticed the brakes were hitting, period, and then all of a sudden it was just a big boom.
So I saw debris, I saw the atmosphere was pretty much chaotic, and I knew that there was something wrong.
We felt the train slamming or sliding into the station. We weren't necessary. We just wanted to make sure that everyone that we could help was standing on their feet or that we could get them out of harm's way.
Eyewitnesses and passengers describing a chaotic and terrifying scene when a New Jersey transit train came to a crashing halt at Hoboken Terminal. At least one person killed and more than 100 hurt.
The collision happened just before 9 o'clock this morning at the height of the morning commute. The train number 1614 on the Pascack Valley line departed from Spring Valley at 7:23 this morning. It was due to arrive in Hoboken at 8:38, but it was running late.
Most of those injured were taken to Hoboken Hospital this morning.
Eyewitness News reporter Tony Yates is there with that part of our coverage. Tony.
Afternoon, and the folks at Hoboken Medical Center told us that not long ago this afternoon, someone actually walked in and said that they were on the train this morning, that they just decided to come in to get checked out because they were not feeling well. Now, most of the people who were brought here suffered non-life-threatening injuries, but certainly these passengers were emotionally shaken.
I thought we were going to die. I didn't think we were going to get out.
Alexis Valley is 5 months pregnant. She says she was on the first train, the one that slammed into the platform. Injured but alert, helping hands, she said, immediately came to her. Fellow passengers.
There was still stuff falling. So a man in front of me pushed the ceiling up a little and then kind of climbed behind me and helped me out the window.
She believes she was one of the first off the train, those helpers trying to make sure in her fragile condition she would be okay.
The baby's okay. Yeah, it's 5 months.
5 months. And how about you? Did you get stitches or you?
I got staples in my head.
She's one of the 23 patients who were brought to Hoboken Medical Center, the closest hospital to the incident. It's not a level 1 trauma site, but prepared in its role in this regional response to care for the injured. This is when a stream of ambulances rolled in carrying hurt but alert patients, non-life-threatening injuries.
Bumps, bruises, some walking wounded, some lacerations, and fractures as well. We've treated everybody. Everybody is in stable condition.
All but one of the patients here are expected to be treated and released, like Miriam.
It was very bad. I was thinking about my kids.
She was traveling from New Milford to Manhattan.
It was normal, slowing down, like he would stop and everybody was getting up to leave.
And then the crash happened. She suffered bruises to her leg from being slammed into the seats in front of her. And like Alexis, fellow passengers did not leave her side until she was pulled out.
It makes me feel so good that there is good people.
It's what the people of this region do. And with so many of the passengers here at Hoboken Medical Center being released, a lot of the activity surrounding this area has fallen off. For now, we're live here in Hoboken. Tony Yates, Channel 7, Eyewitness News. Back to you.
Tony, thank you. New Jersey Senator Bob Menendez spoke one-on-one with us a few hours ago about the crash and the investigation.
We are so sad that we lost a life, and our thoughts and prayers go to the family and to all who are still injured, some of them still critical. But when I look at the scene, I'm just amazed that there weren't more lives lost, and we thank God for that. Tremendous coordination by police, firefighter, emergency management that helped save lives as they were taking people immediately after the accident. A real concern for me that this train just even bolted over the bumper at the end of the line, which is supposed to be part of a safety measure, and slammed all the way through nearly to the wall of the terminal itself. Obviously, speed was an issue. Why? Whether it was human error, or whether it was mechanical error either on the train or on the tracks, and all the other iterations of that we'll have to see. As I was there, I was with the Federal Railroad Administrator and her team, and the National Transportation Safety Board arrived just as we were leaving. So I spoke to the Vice Chair who's in charge of this particular accident, and they're going to go to work right away, and we look forward to their conclusion.
Well, as you know, the crash is impacting the evening commute, but we have some good news. We just received some video of the PATH terminal reopening in Hoboken. This just happened. Debbie Duham is in the newsroom with more on the commute. Debbie.
Thank you so much, David. Yes, PATH service is operating now to Hoboken, so that will definitely help you out for this evening's commute. Let's also remind you that New Jersey transit trains are suspended into and out of Hoboken. Hudson Place remains closed over in Hoboken, over by Washington Street. Definitely want to avoid that whole area. But again, PATH service has been restored to help you out. So again, no New Jersey transit service to and from Hoboken. New York waterway service to Hoboken Terminal, no service there. You can access the other lines, and they will be cross-honoring on New York waterway service as well. The Hudson Bergen light rail to Hoboken also suspended. Now the Pascack Valley, the Port Jervis, Maine and Bergen lines of New Jersey Transit running on a modified schedule. You'll have to take the bus over to Secaucus Junction from Hoboken, and that will help you out. Now, also on the buses, they will be cross-honoring, and the bus route 126 from Port Authority will be running extra service as well to get you out to Secaucus and to Hoboken. Metro North will cross-honor as well. Back over to you, Liz.
All right, Debbie, thank you very much. Well, we're joined now by New York Governor Andrew Cuomo on the phone. And Governor, thanks so much for joining us this afternoon. We appreciate it. There you are. We see you. Wanted to talk to you. We know that you held a news conference with Governor Christie just about 2.5 hours ago. Have you learned anything new since then?
We haven't learned anything new about what caused the train to exceed the speed limit at that point. We've been working very hard to get the system back up and running. There is structural damage, as you've been talking about on your show, and that is a problem with reopening the station. So we're coming up with alternative routes. And what we've done, which we've probably never done before, Governor Christie and I agreed to basically combine resources and combine the both system capacities. So Metro North will honor the New Jersey Transit monthly coupons, and Metro North can get passengers to Tarrytown and then have bus service to the New Jersey Transit stations. The PATH train, as you just reported, is up and running. So we've been focusing on this evening's commute, tomorrow morning's commute, and doing everything we can cooperatively to make life as easy as possible for the commuters. You're not going to know why the train did what the train did until the NTSB gets the black box, the event recorder, and until they do a full debrief of the conductor. Unfortunately, we've been through this a couple of times. You have a lot of theories and speculation before, but until you have the facts, guys, I don't even pay any attention because there are just too many rumors out there right now. And then once we get the facts, then we can find out what it was, human error, equipment failure, and if there's anything we can learn from it and anything we can do.
No question. The big question that we're always having is, well, how did this happen? Why did it happen? And again, the investigation needs to play out. But run down for me, in your mind, what are the significant questions that you have in light of what occurred?
Was it equipment error? And if it was equipment error, is there something we can do about it? Was it an error on the part of the conductor? If so, what is it? Would positive train control have made a difference? Positive train control is one of the new safety override systems that can override the conductor's judgment in certain circumstances. And there are a couple of other new safety systems that can be put in that can actually correct for human error in operating the train. That's why you really want to know what happened here, because you want to find out, can you prevent it? And is there a system that is designed that can prevent it? Sometimes it's just an accident. Whatever system you have out there, when it comes to driving a train, sometimes a person is just driving a train, and sometimes it is human error. But we need to find out what it was in this case.
You mentioned positive train control.
I'll tell you the good news in this situation, though.
Go ahead, Governor.
Go ahead, Liz. I'll tell you the good news, and it was alluded to by Senator Menendez. All the reports say that the people on the platform were immediately responsive to helping other people. We went through the bombing a couple of weeks ago, the Chelsea bombing. I was there. All the reports were the same thing, that everybody ran to each other's assistance and aid. I'm an old New Yorker, born and bred. New Yorkers were not always that way. New Yorkers were tough, were a little standoffish, a little aloof. You minded your own business. I think the frequency of the situations, the crises that we've been dealing with, have actually made us more resilient and more collegial and more community-oriented. I think a little bit of us now, everybody has a little first responder in them. Everybody knows they're citizens of the same place. And if there's a silver lining in these situations, as someone who has been there for all of them, has been the response of New Yorkers and the people from New Jersey today at Hoboken. This is different than it would have been 30 years ago, 20 years ago. I believe that. And it's nice to see people believing in community and believing in helping one another.
Certainly so, and certainly it is necessary to find a silver lining, like you said, when we are faced with such issues, unfortunately what appears to be more common than not. Governor Cuomo, we appreciate your time today. We know that this has been a very trying day for a lot of folks in New Jersey and a lot of New Yorkers. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Governor.
And we invite you to stay with ABC News and Eyewitness News, ABC 7 NY, for continuing coverage of the New Jersey Transit train crash in Hoboken. You can check our news app to watch video of the crash. And you'll also find the latest on commuter alerts there as well.
Well, we've been covering other news as well for you today. Coming up, important health information for young women. How well does the HPV vaccine work when it comes to preventing cervical cancer? We'll tell you about a new report.
ABC 7 celebrates Hispanic Heritage Month by honoring unsung leaders in the Latino community. Pablo Sierra shares his love of tennis with thousands of kids.
Their eyes light up when they're hitting the ball over the net.
Who might otherwise never get a chance to play.
I grew up in Red Hook. No one else played tennis.
And he'll teach them anywhere, even a classroom.
Tennis anywhere, anytime, any place. Somewhere out there is a little kid that's going to wind up tomorrow's champion that doesn't even know that he's going to enjoy this game.
Hispanic Heritage Month on ABC 7 is sponsored by your local Tri-State Kia dealers.
Studies show the average attention span is 8 seconds. Good thing the redesigned Kia Forte comes with available autonomous emergency braking.
The candidates, the issues, the debate goes back and forth.
We stay rock steady, making a difference every single day.
We're New York City public school teachers.
Challenging minds.
Motivating dreams.
Encouraging excellence. Because rock steady means never letting up. Parents in the community are pitching in.
Together we can build great public schools.
In every neighborhood, for every child.
passion and promise in our public schools. The United Federation of Teachers.
Meet Kyle. You name it. Dust, pollen,
and pet dander.
He's allergic to it.
Stanley Steamer is the first carpet cleaning service to be certified asthma and allergy friendly, eliminating an average of 94% of common household allergens like dust, pollen, and pet dander for a cleaner, healthier home.
Goodbye, Mr. Steamer.
Bye, Kyle.
Call now about our $99 carpet cleaning special.
Call 1-800-STEAMER. Stanley Steamer, your certified cleaner.
How would you sum up this car in one word?
Swanky.
Sexy. Sexy.
Luxurious.
Classy. Fast. Sporty. Shop. Innovative. Sleek luxury sedan.
Okay, that's more than one word.
This is the all-new 2016 Chevy Malibu.
That's impressive. Where's the local dealer around here?
Current qualified competitive lessees can get this Chevy Malibu LT for around $199 a month. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
This season of How to Get Away with Murder has one hell of a hook. We can't tell you who is dead, but each week you'll find out who is not.
You want to make me a suspect?
New How to Get Away with Murder, tonight on ABC.
We're following some breaking news right now, and it has to do with this morning's crash on New Jersey Transit. We now know the name of the engineer of that train. He is 48-year-old Thomas Gallagher. He lives in Morris County, New Jersey. He was taken to the hospital. He is said to be cooperating with investigators. However, we do not know if he's been formally interviewed yet about this morning's crash.
Well, tonight, a vigil is scheduled for a 6-year-old boy who was brutally killed in Harlem. Police say Zamir Perkins was beaten to death with a broomstick by his mother's boyfriend, Rasheem Smith. He and the boy's mother, Geraldine, are facing charges in the boy's death. In little more than an hour, Zamir's classmates and the community plan to come together outside his home to mourn his death.
Well, there's new information about the unarmed black man who was shot dead by police near San Diego. Federal authorities twice tried to deport Alfred Alongo after he was charged with drugs and weapons offenses, but his native Uganda refused to take him. Police shot and killed him on Tuesday after responding to calls from his sister who said he was acting erratically and then wandering into traffic. Police say he pulled out what turned out to be an electronic cigarette device and then pointed it at an officer. And in South Carolina, the superintendent at Townville Elementary School now says the shooter opened fire right when students were leaving the building for recess. That's the same elementary school where a teen shot a teacher and 2 kids. This comes as authorities say one person took the teen down, was a volunteer firefighter. Meanwhile, the fire chief ran inside to help the injured until the medics finally got there. And a new study shows that the controversial HPV vaccine, which reduces cervical cancer, is even more effective than originally thought. According to researchers out of the University of New Mexico, after 8 years of vaccination, the rate of cervical cancer in women between the ages of 15 to 19 declined by 50%. The study also showed that the protection appears to occur even when only 1 or 2 of the recommended doses of the vaccine are given.
The National Transportation Safety Booth is planning a briefing at 5:30. We'll bring that to you. Meanwhile, we'll be right back with a rainy AccuWeather forecast.
What's for breakfast, Mom?
Maintenance and repairs hanging over your head? Taking care of your car shouldn't take over your life. Meineke can fix your car and get your mind back to what matters. Get a $19.95 basic oil change and up to $150 back when using a new Meineke credit card. Meineke, on with life.
I don't want to live with the uncertainties of Hep C.
Or wonder whether I should seek treatment. I am ready.
Because today, there's Harvoni, a revolutionary treatment for the most common type of chronic hepatitis C. Harvoni is proven to cure up to 99% of patients who've had no prior treatment. It transformed treatment as the first cure that's 1 pill once a day for 12 weeks. Certain patients can be cured with just 8 weeks of Harvoni. Harvoni is a simple treatment regimen that's been prescribed to more than 250,000 patients. Tell your doctor if you've had a liver transplant, other liver or kidney problems, HIV, or any other medical conditions, and about all the medicines you take, including herbal supplements. Taking amiodarone with Harvoni may cause a serious slowing of your heart rate. Common side effects of Harvoni may include tiredness, headache, and weakness. I am ready to put Hep C behind me.
I am ready to be cured.
Are you ready? Ask your Hep C specialist if Harvoni is right for you.
Looking for balance in your digestive system? Try Align Probiotic. For a non-stop, sweet treat goodness, hold on to your Tiara kind of day. Live 24/7 with 24/7 digestive support. Try Align, the #1 GE recommended probiotic.
It's not too big and it's not too small.
Chevrolet's crossovers come in 3 sizes: Trax, Equinox, and Traverse.
Who wants to sit in it?
I do.
Shotgun.
Oh, wow. This car matches me. I like this. It's a perfect fit.
Get more than you expect for less than you imagine from the Chevrolet crossover family. Current qualified competitive lessees can get this Chevy Equinox for around $199 a month. Visit your local Chevy dealer.
What's for breakfast, Mom?
Maintenance and repairs hanging over your head? Taking care of your car shouldn't take over your life. Meineke can fix your car and get your mind back to what matters. Get a $19.95 basic oil change and up to $150 back when using a new Meineke credit card. Meineke, on with life.
For instant updates on the Hoboken crash, download the ABC7 NY News app.
We just have a couple of gloomy days on our hands.
Yeah. Umbrellas starting to go up across the area now. There's the one thing really been missing is really steady rain during the day, and now we'll add that to the mix. Might as well have it all, right? Outside we go this afternoon where we have a lot of clouds, and been looking at this west side camera where the wind's been blowing about 30 miles an hour. There's an umbrella on the crosswalk going across 66th Street and Columbus Avenue where our ABC Super Studios are. Our temperature right now is at 64 degrees, cloudy skies, and easterly wind at around 18 miles an hour. All right, let's check out Matthew right now. There's the storm, pretty large storm. The cloud shield takes up a good chunk of the eastern Caribbean. It's a storm. It's a couple hundred miles to the south of San Juan. Hurricane hunters have gone through, and at flight level, 91-mile-per-hour winds. At the surface, sustained around 75. We've seen some gusts at the surface nearby at buoys around 65 miles an hour. And there's the storm right there. So the new advisory just out, wave heights of 30 feet near the core of the storm, and some 9 and 10 footers going toward Puerto Rico and also toward the Dominican Republic. So this storm will continue off to the west, could potentially become a Category 2 hurricane over the weekend, and then the key window that we'll be watching will be Saturday afternoon. Will it start to take that sharp turn to the north? It is forecast by the Hurricane Center to do that. Jamaica and Haiti in the cone, Cuba in the cone, and then you see Cuba as well. And then the key time period as we go into early next week. Is this going to hover near the Bahamas or near Hispaniola, even get into the Atlantic? All those questions still there, but still could be a powerful storm getting into the Atlantic, and then it's in very warm water here, so could still strengthen, maybe even a major hurricane at that point, and then we'll have to watch the East Coast very, very closely. But that's, still early to mid next week that it even starts to get into the Atlantic if it does, so lots of questions still with it, but we'll track it. Meanwhile, rain shield starting to increase across southern New Jersey. The heaviest has been to our south and west, but now it's about to pivot into the tri-state area, and we'll just get wetter as the night goes on. Now, it'll take longer over the Hudson Valley and Connecticut, maybe even until late tonight, but that rain will overwhelm the dry air. We've got a wet morning commute tomorrow, soaking even to the south. That'll continue through much of the day tomorrow, and then the rain will get more patchy by the time we get into Saturday morning, but it's a wet Friday night as well. So between now and Saturday morning, we could get an inch or two of rainfall. This may be overdoing it a little bit, but just gives you an idea of the potential because this does have a connection to some tropical moisture, so a good soaking coming in for tomorrow. Winds will peak during the middle of the day tomorrow. There will be some wind gusts along the coast that could approach 50 miles an hour, and that's why we have a wind advisory in Monmouth and Ocean County. All right, let's take it day by day. I know it all looks the same here, but it is different. Tomorrow's the soaking day, 62, and the winds are strongest. Wind will start to back off. It's still breezy and raw on Saturday, but the rain, which may be a little steady early, becomes just patchy, light rain and drizzle the rest of the day, still damp. When we go into Sunday, that's a day where I don't think there's much rain at all. It's just a little patchy shower activity, maybe even some brightening in the clouds, and that's why we go from 66 to 69, and early next week, the improvement continues. We're in the mid-70s on Monday. That's just a passing shower, better chance north and west, and the sun is coming back middle of the week, and temperatures should be at nice early October levels. We're right where they should be, but at that point, where will Matthew be? A lot of questions with that. We'll be looking at the tracks going forward. The key time period is going to be Saturday. Does it take a turn toward the Atlantic at that day?
Okay. All right. Thanks, Lee.
You got it. A man rescued at sea, his mother still missing. Coming up, talks exclusively to ABC News. What are you saying about his mom's disappearance and the murder mystery involving his grandfather?
Well, we continue to follow the new developments in the New Jersey Transit train crash. Again, we have learned the train engineer's name. He's 48-year-old Thomas Gallagher. He survived the crash. He's in the hospital in critical condition, according to Governor Christie. He is speaking with investigators. We're going to have much more on the investigation coming up at 5 o'clock. We'll be right back.
Deadly train crash in Hoboken.
The train has crashed.
We have exclusive new video.
For exclusive coverage and commuter information.
The response here has been extraordinary.
For instant updates on your phone and new developments breaking minute by minute. Stay with Channel 7 Eyewitness News and ABC 7 NY.
Hi, I'm Brian Gary. If you're thinking about window replacement, just know that the material you choose is really important. Okay, so Ted Coons, project manager for Renewal by Anderson, has some really important information about this.
Yeah, if you're thinking about poor quality vinyl replacement windows, think again. I mean, it is shocking what can happen to those windows within just a few years. Not only do they look low end, but they can warp, which causes drafts.
So Ted, you don't sell vinyl windows?
No, absolutely not. Our dumpsters are full of those poor quality windows we've replaced. Our windows are made of our composite material called Fibrex. It's as beautiful as wood without the maintenance, and it's 2 times stronger than vinyl.
People just want their home to be comfortable. Your window will do that?
Right. If you have a room that's too hot or too cold, well, our windows are literally engineered to make it more comfortable and give you that room back.
So Ted, tell me about the warranty. Yours is like a double warranty.
Yeah. Other companies will warrant the windows, but if there's a problem with the installation, the window warranty won't help. We warrant not only the product, but the installation as well, so there's nothing for you to worry about.
So Ted, based on your customer feedback, your installers are pretty amazing.
Yeah. Let me read you what one of our customers had to say. This is from Mr. Roberts. Kevin and Al cleaned up thoroughly and removed every piece of debris. After they left, I couldn't find even one piece of sawdust. They were truly wonderful. You know, so many of our customers insist on the same installers to come back when they're ready to finish their window project.
Yeah, Ted, I can see why for sure. Right now, Renewal by Anderson is having a tremendous discount.
Save 20% on windows, save 20% on patio doors, and save 20% on installation too. And leave your credit card or checkbook right where it is. Because with this financing, you won't pay anything for a whole year. No money down, no payments, and no interest for a year. Call to schedule your free window diagnosis. 1-800-334-4422. That's 1-800-334-4422.
Well, this afternoon, we are hearing from the man at the center of the mystery at sea.
Yeah, the 22-year-old rescued after an ill-fated fishing trip says he had nothing to do with his mother's disappearance or the murder of his grandfather nearly 3 years ago.
He is telling his story today to ABC's Lindsay Janis.
Nathan Carmen is speaking exclusively to ABC News about the fishing trip that left his mother missing and him stranded at sea for more than a week.
She'd always been kind of reluctant about safety, and I guess she had good reason to be.
The 22-year-old who has Asperger's syndrome says he convinced his mom, Linda Carmen, to take a trip on his 32-foot boat 100 miles offshore, saying she agreed partly because she didn't want him to go alone. After they arrived, the engine made a strange noise.
I thought that I was going to diagnose the problem and that we were going to go back to shore.
He says his mom was at the back of the boat bringing in the fishing lines while he went to gather safety gear, when suddenly the boat sank.
I didn't know if she had been dragged down with the ship, because neither of us had been wearing life vests.
Nathan swimming to the life raft. Finally, after 8 days, Nathan was rescued. Before he was back on dry land, deputies in Vermont seizing items from his home. A search warrant revealing he's under investigation for reckless endangerment resulting in death.
There's some concern that the boat was not seaworthy. Was it?
I believed it was when we left the dock. I would not have left the dock. I would not have taken my mom out fishing with me had I not believed the boat was seaworthy.
This isn't the first time Nathan's been the subject of suspicion surrounding a tragedy. In a 2014 search warrant, detectives said that Nathan was the last to see his grandfather before the 87-year-old was shot 3 times, saying there were several inconsistencies in Nathan's account of his whereabouts that night.
I had absolutely nothing to do with my grandfather's death.
Nathan was never charged, and the crime remains unsolved.
Nathan telling me he is devastated about his mom, but thinks she would be happy he survived. Lindsay Janis, ABC News, Brattleboro, Vermont.
Details in the investigation into the New Jersey Transit crash.
Eyewitness News at 5 begins right now.